What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mommas with Commas. We are happy to be here. It's a busy night tonight. Who's watching the debates? Who's watching them cut off the mics tonight? Because last time it was very stressful.
Wasn't it? It's crazy.
Absolutely. So we have that going on. I know it's a really popular hip hop summit going on right now, but we're happy for all of you guys that are tuning in to Mamas with Commas just to learn a little bit about getting your financial situation leveled up. We have
Yes.
Kiva back with us, Coach Key back with us. I want to say she opened us up. We're
Woo.
on
Hello.
episode 15 now. Can you
Yeah.
believe it?
Yep.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. It's all because of you guys. I feel like looking back and looking through the different chats, just everybody that's been able to come on and share, it's just been such a blessing. And you guys are touchable. So when we get off the chat and off the show, we can continue to represent for you guys and people can reach out to you personally, for more
yes.
information. And that's what we love mostly, about being able to connect with you guys on the show. So thank you for taking the time to be on tonight.
Yeah.
Nico, how are you doing?
So I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Busy week. Busy. But I'm glad to be able to stay busy. How about
Yeah,
so um but how was your week? How was your week with
yeah. So
everything?
you guys know the last time we popped on here, we did a quick bonus chat about protection because of a personal situation that I had here in my home, and everything is kind of mellowing out now. It's just time to fight the fight and make sure that this individual doesn't get away with what she did. So, we're feeling safe over here. We've implemented a lot of safety protocols in the house and just communicating better, and it's just pushing along. So it's been a cool week. It's been like you said, just very busy
Mm-hmm.
um, with school and college stuff for the kids and work stuff for me during the day. So, um, yeah, it's been really
Well, I'm
busy.
glad that everybody's safe and everything's calm and
Yeah.
um good. Oh,
Mhm.
and you know what? We didn't discuss the last time. Our meditation was great. Our meditation group that we had, remember? Um,
Yes.
so that was good.
Big shout out to Danny, the
Yeah.
yoga doc, that hosted a very intimate yoga session for some of the Mamas with Comes family. And we're going to do it again. So we will definitely let you guys know it was a virtual yoga session and it didn't involve a lot of movement. Hallelujah. Amen. It was just very, very still, breathing, breath work, and and her voice, just the way that she hosts the event, it was great for us. We needed it.
Yes, we sure did. So
Yep,
that
yep,
was good.
yes. So we're gonna jump right in. Kiva
Yeah,
is here to help us get our money right. She was on. Were you on chat one?
yeah, I think so. You can't hear us? She can't hear us.
You can. All right. So I'm gonna, guys, give us just a second. This happens from time to time. So what we can do is have Kiva rejoin us and have her come back in.
There's a lot going on tonight. There's sports also on. I think football's on tonight as well.
Okay.
There's a football game.
Oh
Talk about
gosh.
yeah.
Yes.
I think
Kiva.
the Giants
Hey,
and
mother.
the Eagles.
Oh, that sounds like that's a good one. That
Hmm.
sounds like that's a real good one. Um, so Kiva was having trouble hearing us, so we are gonna have her come right back in. And she should be in just a second.
All right.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect. It's so we got it down pat. We're like, we know what to do, but it's just like, come on, StreamYard, like to have a person exit out and exit back in, but we're gonna roll, with it. You on chat one, right?
Yay!
Were you on that first?
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
And it was good. It went really well.
Yes.
Well,
It
and,
really
and one thing
did.
I can say, that was one of our, I know I got asked about that chat the most, saying
Yeah.
that they enjoyed the information from that chat, the finance. So our finance seems to be our biggest
Awesome.
Yeah,
audience,
people
one of our.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people love to learn new things. I mean, we're getting money every week or bi-weekly, so we want to know how to manage that money, what to do, what's the best things to do, how to
Right.
make it move, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're going to touch on a little bit tonight. But just to reintroduce Kiva, she works in finance right now. So I'm going to kind of open the floor up to her and let her explain to you guys what she does, because she offers services to the public. And once the chat is over, you can schedule an appointment with her this weekend and start getting your stuff together. So Kiva, do you want to share with us what you do, darling?
Yes, darling. Yes, yes. So, hello, everyone. My name is Kiva Rivera, and I am accountability coach. I am going to help you get on track. I'm going to get you started in your personal finances, your personal development, and getting your money right, and even starting businesses, because there's so much information out there, but it's everywhere, and it's just trying to filter it to one place and funnel it one direction, pretty
Yeah.
much. I've worked in finance, I've worked in securities before, and I have always dabbled and dabbled into entrepreneurship, by one foot in, one foot out. And what was
Yeah.
really holding me back was all up here.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I engulfed myself into personal development. I engulfed myself into learning business and strategies and tips, because we're getting older now and the conversations are changing. It should not still be about what's going to happen on the club, or what outfit we're going to wear, or what lounge or restaurant. It's about starting businesses, and knowing how much money you have in your account and what to do with that money, because money is really not,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, that big of a deal. It can about a hammer is a tool. You can either use that hammer to build a house, or you can build it to harm someone. So money is the tool, and it's just about putting those tools in place to help you succeed and help you excel.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, yeah, I think that, gosh, I'm trying to think of what someone said recently to me about the way that they utilize their money. Um, it's not a need. Like it's not the end. It's not the dream. It's a tool that helps you achieve your dream. It's not the end all be all, but it is a way to help you get to a place of freedom in life. It's not freedom itself, it's something that you utilize to kind of help get yourself to that point. So definitely, I think that's definitely something that we learn as we grow.
Yeah.
um, and I would love to get that point out to all of our young listeners right now, that feel like money is life, money is everything, is who they are, and that's not the case or the key. So it's just a tool to help you get from one spot to the next, and to ultimately achieve freedom. So
Mm-hmm.
with that, let's talk about debt. The
Yes.
the prison of all prisons, the prison of all prisons.
Yes.
And they start off really young. I'll never forget my first credit card I received from Express. And I was so excited because I think I was still in high school at Manchester. And I go into the mall and they're like, "Do you want a credit card?" I'm like, "Yeah." you know,
Mhm.
and and it just started from there. And I wasn't educated. I didn't know what to do. I just knew to spend it and to pay on it the minimum payment. And I think that $300 rocked with me for like 15. No, let me stop. It rocked with me for a long time. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
start with a meme that you posted this past week. It jumped out at me. Um, but it mentions how you can kind of double up on payments within the month to have more of a positive impact on a particular credit card. So how does that work?
Yeah, so you have to be disciplined. You get these credit cards. If you think about how many stores you shop at, and every single store is asking, do you want to open a card? Do you want to save 10%?
Mhm,
Do you want to save this? So it's about
mhm,
being disciplined and understanding that you don't have to have a credit card for every single store. You don't.
right,
You have to
right,
choose, understand, and compare which credit cards work for you. Of course, you don't want the one with the lowest interest rate. You want one that some of them have these great incentives. If you spending, you get points and you can use them toward gift cards or even cash back. All of these are great incentives, but are they working for you? Because
mhm,
that 10% is in the long run is really not going to help you. So if you find
Mm,
one major credit card that you can use for every single store or all of your purchases, that it starts there. And it's just
right,
understanding and educating yourself properly on the tools on which credit cards to use, and do you want a secure credit card or do you want an unsecure credit card? You want a secure credit card to boost your positive trade lines on your credit, because if you have an unsecured, pretty much an unsecured card is like a debt, it's a loan. So imagine having loans for 50, maybe I'm exaggerating, 20 something, retailers. That looks crazy. So if you narrow it down to one, maybe two at the most, that'll help you keep positive or low, your debt to ratio income. You want to keep all of that under control. So it starts with discipline because you have to factor it in the long run. I did make that meme about a credit tip and paying half your balance 15 days before the due date and pay the other half 3 days before the due date. So the system takes it as two payments. So that's great. You do not want to pay the minimum of anything on your credit card. You will never
mm,
pay it off. You'll never get it
right,
down. And you're if you think about it, if you pay the minimum, that's just touching the interest. You're not even touching the principal. So if you go
right,
to the store again the next week and maybe during the week, what are you doing? You're just it's like a mouse on a hamster wheel.
yep,
You're not you're not paying the debt down, especially if you're paying a minimum of $50. That's not doing anything to it. So it's just about educating yourself properly and understanding that it does take discipline. It takes a knowledge base and understanding. Okay, I have to stop. I have to stop. And sometimes,
right,
starting at a young age, I started with that express card too. And I
yeah.
didn't know, that I don't have to go shopping every single weekend. I know that now, but I don't have
yeah,
to go shopping for a new outfit every single week. That's not realistic.
Right,
So
right.
I did too. I got myself in those traps, and now it's just going forward. I had to educate myself as an adult, and I'm doing it to my kids. And I want everyone else to know that you do have to educate yourself on the credit because it does catch up with you. You don't want to get into that hamster wheel of chasing that debt because you can get lost and it can definitely affect your credit score. And you don't want to you want to stop it before you need it the most.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that point. I love the point that you made about the type of credit cards to consider. That's something that I am trying to teach my teenage kids, my young adults that are out there in college right now, that don't just jump on the first retailer card because, and I had to explain what you just said because they didn't understand that if I got let's just keep using Express since they want to jump on us while we in high school. An Express card you can only use at Express, but if you have say for an example, a JetBlue, you know, flight or travel card, that is an American Express or a Visa or even a Discover, though you can use that at Express and
Mm,
you can use it anywhere. So it would be better to get
Mhm.
cards that are more beneficial to your lifestyle, is trying to explain to the kids and let them know that I'm not trying to attack them. I'm not trying to stop you from getting that Macy's card or, whatever you think you need, let's do it this way because it's going to make sense in the long run. So, Nico, what would your feedback be there?
I mean, I agree. I agree with you guys. Me personally, I would say stay away from the cards, but I know that you need to build credit. So for me, I feel like as a parent, help your children build the credit with your own credit cards, and show them, and that's something maybe Kiva could touch on as well. But to help them build their credit, but not have them use it, per se, for like frivolous things and things of that nature, and teach them along the way. And then this way they'll learn, and then have them buy something, like invest.
Right.
Maybe their first apartment at a college or something like that, be a condo or something, of that nature. I know my mother always tells my kids, she wish she would invest in some land instead of just the house, because we could have all eventually built something on that property, and had our own, and didn't have to worry about, others or whatever. So, that would be my take back on it, as far as I'm concerned. I know for me, I'm trying to stay away from the credit cards.
Right. And that's after going through what I know I went through, I felt like once I had children, I'm going to tell them, don't get no credit cards. But Kiva, what is no credit versus credit? Like, is that good? Is that bad? Is that even worse?
You want to have credit. You have to learn when to use your credit card and when to use your debit card. And that is something I had to learn myself. This is something that was not taught in the educational school, and oftentimes our families are not privy to this information. So it's knowing when to use that debit card and knowing when to use credit. Once again, it goes back to self-discipline. You have to understand that if you have that secure card, and nowadays there's so many miscellaneous fees that we just tack on and we don't pay attention to it. So it's understanding gas, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, the little things at Target, it's understanding those little things, or when to use the credit card. Do you want to buy something that has zero? If your credit card has a zero balance for a certain amount of time, you can pay that off. It's understanding when to make those payments with the credit. So I oftentimes run into people that do not have credit cards, and their credit score is affected. It does affect them in a way where they don't seem responsible. You're now in this whole game of credit and building, and they look, and when you get your credit report pulled, they don't see anything, so they can't judge you. So if they see that you have not 20 something credit cards because you look irresponsible, if you just narrow down to 2, 3 is max. You want to have 2 cards, and you definitely want to have a debit, and you definitely want to have a secure card for your positive trade lines, and an unsecured, which would be a loan, pretty much, for those emergency purposes. You do not want to have a card for every single, like we said before, a retailer. So it's just understanding when to use the debit card and when to use your credit card for emergency purposes, of course.
Gotcha.
I have a question about, okay, so say, you're in the mix and you're getting your credit repaired, and you come to Kiva with all of these credit cards, and maybe they're paid off, maybe you have a few that you're working on or whatever, but at what point do you decide, okay, I'm going to close these accounts? Does that hurt the person's credit? Does it affect it for a short term, but then in the long term, you don't have to worry about having those accounts on your credit? How does closing accounts affect the credit score when you're building?
Oh boy, you got time? So you want to understand how your credit score is calculated. You have to understand that there's 35% history, that payment history that your credit is reported by. Also, the capacity and amount owed, that's counted as 30%. That's towards your credit score. The length of your credit goes as 15% towards how long have you had these accounts open. You do not want to close the accounts, all of those accounts, because that looks irresponsible too. And that can also hurt your score. You have to understand that new credit also counts as 10% towards your credit report, your score. And also the types of credit that's used is 10%. So that can be the installment loans versus revolving. And I go more into details when I have the free consultation that we offer our clients. So it's understanding that too, and understanding when to make the payments, having an organized payment that you have. You don't want to have your payments all over the place. You definitely want to have it organized, and you want to know have, you can change it to fit your budgeting schedule. And I mean, one late payment can cause up to 110 points on your credit score. You don't want
Right.
that. You definitely want to stay organized, and you want to have those notifications so that you do know when this credit, when this vendor or whenever you have to pay, you want to have it organized pretty
Yeah.
much when all of your payments are coming out. Even if it's the first of the month or however you get paid. Some people get paid twice a month. Some people get paid once a month. So you definitely have to be organized and be disciplined and understand that everything counts towards your score.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
most definitely.
Mhm.
Um, that I think that's the biggest thing that when you said discipline. I think a lot of people it's hard. It's really hard. I think it's discipline comes with breaking a lot of chains that could be generational, and things of that nature. So
Yep.
that's definitely something hard that people need to work on, which that's where the personal development comes in on your end, Kiva, as well, to kind of help people, manage that, because I know that could be a weakness for some people
Oh
as well. And
yeah.
I'm looking
Oh
over
yeah.
here. There's a question. Does it hurt you if you don't use your credit card at all? So let's say you have credit cards and you never really use it. Does it hurt you to have it and you not really do anything with it?
You want to use it. You definitely want to use it. There can be some that you just leave that you don't touch, and that's understandable too. But you definitely want to use the credit card, even if it's $50, even if it's $100, $20. You want to use the card, especially if that's one that often that you have. But knowing how long you had that you mean there's so many factors to it that you have to understand. Say you've had that credit card for 10 years, and I've had a Best Buy card that I hardly use. I won't close it because that can affect my score. So if you just leave it, then that can just don't touch the card. Don't touch the
Right.
card.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
recently had a card close on me because of non-use.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and God, I want to say it was Best Buy. It was recent. It happened to me twice. The first time it happened to me, it was Ashley Furniture. And I was so confused because I was like, I'm not gonna buy furniture like every year, you guys. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, who needs a
Yeah.
couch every year? Like I thought that this was my first time experiencing a company shutting down my car due to non-use. And I called them and I was like, can you put it back?
Hmm.
And they were like, well, you got to reapply. Like, we can't just give you that credit line back like
Hmm.
that. So, and it did. It affected my
Hmm.
credit score. My credit score went down, a few points. The whatever happened recently, I'm trying to think what card it was, but it shut down and the credit score went down just a few points. But I was like, oh my God, like I was freaking out because the other one, it took it way down. I'm assuming that it was because the amount of credit on that one card, it may have been more versus maybe the one that shut down recently. I don't know. But what I'm doing now is just to kind of answer that same question, I'm also managing when to use the cards. So, for
Hmm.
example, my birthday just passed, and a lot of the little retail cards that I have, they were sending me little birthday coupons, and they were really nice
Hmm.
coupons. I
Hmm.
have to give it to them.
Yeah.
So, I was going and utilizing those cards, and paying them right off, like not even leaving the store. Like, I'll go ahead and use this to get this little discount for my birthday, but I'm gonna pay it off right now. Or I paid it, a couple weeks later. But now I'm like, I need to make sure at least within the year I'm using it at least once. So they won't close the
Hmm.
account. So I used to hear people say
Exactly.
they used to
Exactly.
get credit cards only at Christmas. And I guess that might be why,
Yeah.
that might be a
Yeah.
reason
Hmm.
why.
Yeah, and that's a
That's
great way to
smart.
also utilize it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And then the first of the year, just try to knock it out as much as you can, that debt. So,
And another tip also is you do not want to pay the credit card off. I used to think, okay, I have $500 on this card, I'll just pay it off.
yes.
Leave at least, excuse me, your utility 30, but keep at least $20 on there, $30, so we can go on to the next month.
So, okay. All right. That is another thing that I learned. That's a recent thing that I've learned is to keep that car
Yeah,
in
yeah.
rotation and keep it in use.
Yes.
Oh, this is a good question. So we have another question. We told you that we get all the questions we get all the engagement when we have the financial chat. So thank you guys so much for the questions. We really appreciate it. Berlin is asking, she said she's a little bit late, so she hoped that this wasn't asked, but is it a good or bad idea to use one card to pay off other cards? So that question, like I guess a balance transfer.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a balance transfer, especially if you're taking advantage of that zero interest rate. So there's nothing wrong with that. But you definitely want to take advantage of that. But a lot of these credit cards, you see how these incentives, these offers that they'll offer you. You don't want to open up a credit card just for the balance transfer. So you definitely want to have one that you do solid. But it all goes back to that self-discipline. You don't want to be all over the place because when you pull your credit, you look, I don't want to say you look crazy, but you look irresponsible. I'll just use that word professionally. You look
Right.
irresponsible if you have so many different cards that you're playing. I used to call it musical bank accounts. Did you move this one to this
Yep.
one to this one to this one? It's just too
Uh,
much. It's just too much.
yeah.
So yeah, so you definitely want to just have one that you can take advantage of. And then say you do a balance transfer, you take advantage of the zero interest, and then you jack up the card again, and then you go and find another one with a zero. You see, it's just jumping back and forth, and you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that.
So be smart about it. Find one tip that I would like to add is I know sometimes with those balance transfers there are fees with
Yeah.
the balance transfer.
Yeah.
So just really ask those
Mm-hmm.
questions. You want to find one that has a balance transfer that is zero, if at all possible,
Yeah.
or just really play those numbers out because you'll do that balance transfer and you'll end up paying maybe like a $60 fee, and maybe you could have timelined it and took care of that on the back end with the first card. So just take your time and really work through those things. And that's another reason why services that Kiva offer is amazing, because if she's working with you, she would be a text or a phone call away, when
Yeah.
you're ready to try to make those judgment calls. So,
Mm-hmm.
do we have any other credit card questions? The whole show could be filled up with credit card questions
No, it
because
can. And yeah. And I'm running across a lot of people that are starting businesses now, and they want to open those business accounts at the bank, and
yeah,
they can't get a line of credit because their
yeah,
credit is, for lack of a better word, jacked up. And it all
yeah,
goes back to that. You want to stay disciplined to the fact that you have everything organized. You have your personal credit card that you use, and when you start getting your credit right, then you can open that business account, and you can get your credit card for the business account. Keeping them two separate. You do not want to merge them at all. So
right,
that's what I'm saying. You have to keep everything at organized and understanding. Okay, this is a business purchase. This is a personal purchase. Understanding the two, because
Right.
you're the reason why you're opening that business account is to pursue your business and to to utilize that properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you brought that up. That I kind of dabbled in that journey. Like you said, we've been entrepreneurs in the making for a long time now, just kind of dibbling and dabbling while having that safe career as well. But with the business accounts, I don't know if this is a fact or fiction. Maybe you can help us out with, hey, we should start a little fact or fiction, financial fact or fiction. That'd be so
Yeah.
cute. Um, so opening lines of credit with a business using an EIN number versus your social security number,
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
it fact or fiction that you're able
Yes.
to do that? Because
Yes.
what
Good
what I
question.
was
Yes.
told isn't really what it is. You are tied in as an individual to a certain situation. So how does that work? Just real quick with the fact or
Yeah, yeah,
fiction.
yeah. Yeah, you're gonna need an EIN number, of course, for your business. That's for tax purposes too.
Yeah.
When you are just starting out, it still goes back to your personal because they need something to go off of. So you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I
Right.
like I said, I talk to a lot of people and they run into that problem. Well, I can't get a line of credit. You can't get a line of credit because your credit score is at a 400.
Yeah.
Would you give a bum on the street money and then say, "Oh, I need that back"? I'm
Right.
not comparing us to bums, but that's the scenario that these banks use because you
Right.
want to start with that EIN number and then you want to build it up. Starting something small with opening up a cell phone and the business name, and then building up enough credit with the business, and then to go into the whole Dun and Bradstreet, getting a Duns number and separating the Duns number with that number for for your business, and then having your, of course, social number for your personal. So you see how it starts. It In the beginning, you need to go off of your personal until you build up enough credit for your business.
Right.
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 Mhm.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna let that
that's
soak in.
yeah.
Soak that in, business owners.
Yes,
And if you
yes.
need any help, this is the lady that you want to be talking to, because
Yes.
she's, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. She would be, while you're sitting at home in front of the computer wondering what do I do, she would be a phone call or text away. So
Yeah,
Yes.
and you definitely have to invest in yourself. And a lot of people, we're getting older and we want to become entrepreneurs. We don't know where to start. We don't know where to go. And it all starts with our personal first, our personal mindset and our business and our bank account because it's hand in hand. You wouldn't
yeah,
be irresponsible and just charge up all over the place. You are just because you have a goal in mind. Say you want to get that house, you want to get a new
yeah,
car. They run your credit for everything,
different. Mhm.
everything. And we know that there's some unexpected events that will pop up. Or, oh, I
Yeah,
forgot. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got a new car. And then you're going to get the car insurance and it's a high rate because your credit score. So
yeah,
this is stuff that's not talked about. We need to talk about it because we are getting older and our conversation should be changing. But definitely understand your personal debt before you start building onto a business and then creating debt that you can't get a handle of.
yeah. I'm glad you brought up car insurance. Is it safe to shop around for car insurance? Does that affect credit?
That does affect your credit. That a hard inquiry can affect your credit score 15 points. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're trying to keep it up that 750 or higher, you're struggling to get it up there. That's a lot. That's a lot. You definitely want to
Yeah,
utilize a credit union if you can. A lot of people don't think that you can get into credit unions, but there are credit unions that do allow you to get into without a membership or a federal, like a city or union or government job. There are credit unions. So if you could get partner up with a credit union and run your credit there, get your report, so you don't have to go when you try to get that try to get a car. They're running your credit however many times. No, I got my score, I got it. So it's just knowing the
yeah,
tricks and how to understand
Right.
when to pull that credit and when not to. Because
yes,
as soon as you get the car, then they're gonna pull it for the insurance. So you already got a hard inquiry for the car,
yes,
and then
Right.
then you got to pull it for the insurance. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yes.
I experienced that this year.
Okay,
So I was so excited because I am a part of a credit union, and I have had nothing but amazing experience with this credit union. It is called ViStar. It is here in Florida, and I absolutely love them. They have helped me reach so many financial goals. I can't even explain. It's just been an amazing experience with them. And this year, when I was so determined to get that range, girl, I was like, ViStar just might help me do this.
great.
And instead of sitting in that car, dealership all day, I was in the comfort of my home,
Right.
on the phone with my credit union, explaining to them what my goals were. I had spent several weeks driving Terry crazy looking for the perfect truck. I knew, like, VIN numbers, mileage, years, color, make, like, I had it all written down. I had it saved on a computer. So of course, when the ViStar lady asked me, I had all the information that I needed. And she looked at the background. Like you said, they judge you. So she looked at everything, but being as though I've been a member there, it's trust there. She actually complimented me on the growth that I've made over the years. She was like, "Girl, we see you, girl." She said it just like that. She was like, "We see you." And I would never hear anything like that from like a Bank of America. Not to knock any national bank, but it was just, a down home experience. I felt like they really knew me and they were really taking the time to give me as an individual a chance instead of just looking at me as a number or a report. And
Exactly.
and they were impressed enough to, grab me that check. She was like, "How much you need?" I was like, I was
See?
literally in here like hitting the Terry was like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with you?" And I was just like, "This but
Yeah.
like you said, you get to get that check, and then you can go to the dealership so that you're not having your credit pulled. And then you have confidence and you can really take the time to make sure you get the vehicle or the home or whatever it is you're trying to do, the boat, whatever,
Mhm.
um, you can go into that place feeling confident because you have the funds. Then where I messed up was they told me that they needed to run my credit again. That dealership said that they do that with everybody, that I needed to whatever, fill some application, whatever. And they ended up running my credit score twice. So I ended up getting two hits in one day,
Mhm.
two hard hits in one day.
Mhm.
And I called ViStar back, and I'm just sharing this story so that everybody knows. I ended up calling ViStar back, and they were like, "No, Toya." They were like, "They did you dirty." Basically, they were not supposed to do that. You had everything that you needed. You
Mhm.
know, you did not have to have them run that score. So next time, just know and share, spread the word. So that's what, that's what I've been doing. But you're right. It definitely
Mhm.
helps when you have that credit union
Yes.
supporting you,
Yes,
and that knowledge
definitely.
there. Um, I know you mentioned investing, and Nico, I know this is one of your questions with the savings. How to start? What's the best way to start saving?
Yes. So what is the best way to start saving? Like, so, someone who is just starting out, you know, um, they have a good job, they don't have any kids or anything like that, but they don't know how to begin, as far as savings goes. What would you tell someone, they may want to buy a house. They're not sure, but they know they want to buy something, they just don't know how to go about it to start.
Have a realistic goal. That's the first thing I would say. If you know that you are barely making it, maybe it's time to get another stream of income. If you
Yeah.
know that you are spending frivolously going to the liquor store, you know,
Yep.
that's our thing on the weekends. Some of us, I mean, because we're quarantined now, go to the liquor store every
Right.
weekend. Or go, now that things are opening up, it's just understanding when to start cutting back, and it's the
Yeah.
small, like I said, those miscellaneous fees, people don't count that, and it does
Yep.
add up, and it takes that self-discipline. So set a realistic goal. When we have the free consultation, I definitely help you go over that. We have tools in place that'll give you the tips and techniques to use, but it's definitely just staying organized and having that goal in place. Most of the time, some of us, we're living on a tight budget already, and it is
Right.
tough to save. And
Mhm.
you got to get another stream of income coming in, and one income is not going to make it. And if you have dual income, that's even better. So then you sit with your partner and you start to organize what goals that you're trying to reach. Are you trying to get in that home? Where can we save? Are you Look at your cable, look at your internet? Sometimes we do have to shop around to see different cable or cell phone. It's just knowing when to just shop around because they have promotions all the time, and it's just understanding. Okay, well, if we do this, I'll take me for example. We cut our cable off. I saved $100.
Yeah.
That might not seem a
Yep.
lot, but that was a lot to me when you're paying 200 and something dollars for cable that you're not even watching nowadays. And we got the
Yeah.
Right.
Google Chrome stick that was $30. We used that, $100 was saved. So you
Yep.
see, it's just knowing when to utilize it. And maybe it's not time to watch so much television. There's nothing wrong with watching it, but it's just being organized because if you think about for the cable sake, you're not watching all the channels that they have, but you're paying
Right.
for it,
Right.
Right.
and it's just knowing with you, if you're single, if you do have a partner, just sitting down and organizing and keeping your goals in mind. And skipping the little traps at the Target, when you first walk in, they got that little trap, spot when you first walk. So many things that we buy that we don't need. When you go to Target,
The dollar spot.
I'll say me example. I went the other day. I had 3 of them that I wanted at Target. And I said, Kiva, I'm going to do this. And I stuck with those 3 items and I was so proud of myself. So it's just, it's just challenging yourself in different ways and staying so focused. Yeah, I did it.
Right.
I did it. Or if you, I mean, just cutting back on getting your hair done, getting your nails done. There's so many little things that we can just, chip off to just start saving and keeping our goals in mind. But most of the time, some of us do have to get another income or, coming so they can help, not stress us out where, it doesn't seem impossible. It is possible. You can do it. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, you can
Absolutely.
do it.
Yeah.
And I was at a church service a few years back. It was like 5 or 6 years, and he mentioned getting that second job, even if it was for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months, just to help you get. And it was an eye opener for me because I was like, I can't get no second job. Like when I think of job, I think of career. I think of for the long run, not seasonal. You know what I'm saying? Not seasonal. And it is seasonal work out there that you can get just for that moment in time to help get you from point A to point B, or to be able to start that savings. Another thing I know Kiva mentioned, discipline. And I know we like to have fun, and go to those fun places like Starbucks and Target. But I think that utilizing their apps and their, little coupons and things like that is super helpful. I know I'm addicted to Starbucks. I can't nobody help me. I'm done. So what I do is I will allot like maybe $15 a week to my Starbucks card, and that is it for the week. Or maybe it's $10, and
Smart.
it'll build little points. So maybe at the end of the week, I could get one extra free drink on Saturday or Sunday, So you're just kind of utilizing their apps so that it pays off, maybe take a couple of dollars off. I know Target has a really cool app system where you can kind of punch in your phone number when you check out and it accrues points, but you have to have the app downloaded to your phone. And I was able to shave like $4 off a $8 purchase the other day. And I was like, damn, that's like half off. So that was a good one. Another new app that I started using was Get Upside. I kept hearing that thing on the radio and I was like, what the hell is Get Upside? Why are they singing? Like, why is all the DJs saying Get Upside? But my daughter, she told me about it. So I tried it out. Basically, it's a gas app. You pump, like when I'm at the gas station, I'll punch in that I'm there. And then I get my gas, and then literally like a few minutes after I leave, there's a little credit on the Get Upside app. And when you share the app with your link with other people, you get a little cut from when they get their gas. So I've received $20 back just from getting gas. So I got an Amazon card and use that Amazon card to get an ink cartridge, because ink for the printer is $30. So I ended up getting an ink cartridge for like $10. So I know it sounds like a lot, but that is the type of discipline that we're talking about. I've cut my cable off too, Kiva, and went with the Fire Stick and the Roku or whatever. Just to kind of say, let up on some of that, because we weren't watching, the cable. So I'm like, why am I paying these people? Same deal with the internet and with the cell phones and things like that. So like you said, being disciplined and having goals, I would say would help anybody try to it will get you from one level to the next financially. So.
And it is attainable. It's attainable.
It is.
It is.
There's so many, so many people, have been able to achieve it. So, it's obtainable. Trust me.
Yeah.
I think I think people are afraid because it's the unknown. So the fear of not knowing and where to start, I think that's why people just, it's like you said, Kiva, it's all in here. It's a mental thing. If you can mentally just overcome it, then I think you should be able to at least start, with the discipline. I mean, I know it's hard, especially as moms, we tend to focus on everyone else before ourselves. And so, a lot of times we've
Mhm.
already been through sacrificing not getting our hair and our nails done.
Yep.
We kids.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. Mhm.
so yeah, it's just on how all in how you look at it, and then the
Yeah.
reward you get to celebrate, while you still can, and you're
Yes.
not sitting here
Mhm.
either sick or too old to enjoy. So
Enjoy
I
it.
think that's
Yes.
the
Yes.
important
And there's nothing like
Yeah.
reaching a goal and you say to yourself, you did it. I did that.
thing.
And all that
Exactly.
hard work, it paid off. And it doesn't even
Girl.
matter who's looking. It's like you did it. Like I can't
Exactly.
Girl.
tell. I'll just
Yes.
speak personally. It's the best feeling in the world. Like I did
It
that. I worked.
is.
And no one could take that from you. And that's the
No.
thing about what I love is just educating people, but more than it helps me because I've learned this through my journey in life, and I'm coming to get I'm getting in contact with so many other people that didn't have that information or they didn't think it was possible, and when they see their scores go up, I feel like
Mhm.
it's my score. It is every single
I know you do every time. I would feel that way too.
like I am so happy because you did it, and I'm your cheerleader. I'm your biggest cheerleader, and I just love it. I love it, and it just brings me so much joy. And seeing people invest in themselves, and that's what it's all
Yes.
about, is just investing in yourself. It's not an outfit, it's not a pair of shoes, not your nails, your hair. It is investing in yourself personally, and that
Right.
growth, the unknown. Yeah, I know it's scary. I've been there. I have been there.
Yes.
But when you see yourself get into the places that you wanted to do, you look back like, it wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that
Right.
difficult.
And then you get mad because you're like, I wasted all of this time.
Mhm.
I could have been enjoying or, here
Yes.
all along, but I just
Yeah.
what was I doing? What was I thinking? And then
Yeah.
you just, as long as you learn from there and you keep going, then you're on the right track, I feel.
You're unstoppable. Yes. You're unstoppable.
Exactly.
Unstoppable.
Mhm.
I love
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Unstoppable.
Mhm.
Um,
Um,
can we turn this into a cultural thing real quick? Can we talk
yeah.
about, because I know you coach a lot of different people. So white versus black, you know what I'm saying? Because or even just minority versus the majority, or um migrant immigrant versus someone native to the as native as we can be to the country. Like where is that? What's the fine line? What is the percentage? Is it really disparities there? Is it like, are we really left behind, or is it the mentality? What are you finding in your business? Sticky, sticky.
I don't want to narrow it down to race, honestly.
Yeah,
I just feel as Americans living in the United States of America
yeah,
and going through the public school system, which is the majority of us have, they've taken out the key programs that we needed to survive. If you think about home ec, and I'm not that old, not that young, but they took out home ec, they took out
yeah,
shop, they took out so many programs that were needed to develop and grow and to run the economy. And the ones that have the majority, to keep this economy going, are lacking in the most important information on how
yeah,
to move up and to grow and to excel. And it's across the board. It's across the board. And I'll just say Americans. I'll just say it
yeah,
as Americans,
yeah,
honestly, because there's a playbook that we as minorities, I will say, we weren't given the fair playbook. I'll just say that. It's obvious. But there are tools out there. We just have to know where to go.
yeah,
And I think the younger generation, they're so keeping up with the Joneses was a term that I, heard of growing up as a
yeah,
child, but it's gotten so much bigger. And I
yeah,
remember just hearing, growing up that don't feed into entertainment every single weekend. You don't have to be entertained. Sometimes these kids feel like, oh, what are we doing next? Like,
yeah,
we're staying home. Because
yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but every time I step out the door, it's like $100.
It's
Every time,
I've
every
been telling
time.
Tanika that for years, because we had
Mhm.
to 7 kids. So if we went to the movie theater, it was $100. If we went bowling, it was $100. If we went to the skating rink, where somebody might typically spend 30, $40, it was 100 plus for us.
And that's
So when
just
we took vacations, we had to
that's
get,
one day. That's one
yeah,
event.
one
And then you gotta
day,
go out to
one.
eat. You gotta go out to eat.
You gotta eat, and then that's I'm stressed out. I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna hit the dollar menu. And we don't even eat like that no more. So
Mm-hmm.
um yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I wanted to ask you, because you said keeping up with the Joneses and the young people. And I know we've learned a trick for our kids. I know I have, and I try to share it as much as I can with the credit card. If you have a credit card in good standing, the key is to have a credit card in good standing. You can
Mm-hmm.
add your they have different ages that company may allow, but you can add your 16-year-old, your 17-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever, to the card, and then they'll get a boost. I know my daughter, she went out into the world with a 800 score,
Nice.
but how
Nice.
important is it to manage the score and income or job history? Because me and you helped me get my first corporate job, so I know where we were back then. We knew we had to
Mm-hmm.
leave high school and either go to college or get a corporate job,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and we stayed there. We knew we had to be there 3 to 5 years for it to make any type of sense that anybody was going to take us seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got that express card, amongst other things, I didn't have good credit. So I had the job
Mm-hmm.
history, but I didn't have the credit. So here we are now where we're raising these kids. We're able to get them out the door with a good credit score, but do they have to be on the job for 3 to 5 years still in order to get things,
Yes,
cars?
yeah.
Mhm.
That accounts too. Did y'all know that there's a hiring score? So when
No.
you go to fill out, yeah, no. So when you go to fill out an application, you're thinking, oh, they're just looking at my track record, my resume. They're looking to see where I work, my job, my
Uh-huh.
experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If your
Mhm.
credit is not good, you're not getting that job.
Oh my God.
So it is so crucial. It's so important that we give these kids a head start, because they'll and especially, getting out of college,
Yeah.
they don't have good credit, and if we don't
Yeah.
know the tips and the, tricks to get them, jump started into that workforce, there,
Wow.
it's discouraging. It's discouraging. There is a hiring score that these credited that these employers use, and it's it's something I didn't know. And when I saw it, and in my journey through this business, learning that, oh, so that's why a lot of people are not getting
Wow.
jobs. And
Mhm.
it just becomes a downward spiral. You went to school, you went to college for all these years, you got this, degree, but you can't get that job. So it credit affects so many things. As I said, we're not educated and we're not knowledgeable about this information. So yes, definitely staying on that job, getting started, but it goes back to the credit,
Yeah.
especially when you're starting out, you got your degree, you're looking for that job, but if your credit is not good, you can get passed and overlooked on positions that
Wow.
you're well qualified for. But because that score is low, they don't deem you as responsible.
Wow. They'll leave the little race thing optional. Like, I'm not checking black, white, Hispanic. I'm not gonna. And then all the meanwhile, they're
Other.
still judging you based off your credit score. It's like so scary.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Berlin, she mentioned that the government definitely looks at the credit score when you're applying for the federal jobs.
I
So
know, I know banks do. I know banks, certain banks, depending on
Yes. Oh yeah.
what department or where
Hmm.
you're handling. Also, a lot of IT jobs that require clearances. That's part of what they
Hmm.
look at when they get a clearance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Making sure that you don't have any financial issues. You know, um, so yes, it's pretty
Hmm.
big. People don't
Yeah.
realize it. You know.
I'm gonna
No.
plug
No.
Nico right there. She is that's what she does. She recruits. She has a recruiting business. So if
Yeah.
anybody's looking for a job, y'all hit her up and then get that money right with Kiva.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Shameless
Yes.
plugs. We love
Yes.
it.
You know what? That goes
Mhm.
right into the question of the lifestyle question, Kiva.
Yes.
You know, can you elaborate on your experience as far as finding a career what was it? Finding a career that fits your lifestyle. As far as I don't know, I guess, as far as what you're looking for, because I know a lot of times we just take jobs, right? Just to take them. I mean, if you have to, we understand that you may have to, but it kind of takes us off our what they say square, because it's not really what you want to do. And so then you become what you call a job hopper. And that's
Yeah.
kind of bad too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Mhm.
how can we kind of avoid that, I guess? I know it's hard. Like, how do you avoid that? But I
I will
mean,
go back. I'll go back to personal development. You know, you finish high school, you go to college, you get
mhm,
that job in that field that you studied the heck out of, you know, and then you realize you're not happy.
Yeah.
You
mm,
realize that you're just working for the check. You
right,
know, personal development is deeper than, it's not religious based. I want people to realize that, but it's really just honing on your skills that you have mentally. And then if
right,
you don't challenge yourself, you don't know what you're really capable of. And
mhm,
that fear, overcoming the rejection. I know we've all gotten rejected, you going to the club and you see a cute guy, or vice versa,
right,
we've
right, right.
all been there. But how do you take rejection? And not everybody's going to like you, and that's fine,
Yeah,
but how do you deal with that? Because you can get that job in that field and then realize, wait a minute, I don't like this. I don't
yeah,
like it at all.
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone earlier and they was like, you know what? I can do this myself. And so it's just really,
exactly.
delving into that personal development and learning who you are. And sometimes we're so busy trying to finish school, trying to, do so well on the job. And don't get me started with people on the job with insecurities. And you got a supervisor that you're doing the job for, and they don't like that you know more than them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you're not
see,
the boss. You're just lower than them. It gets deep, and that'll
yeah,
mess you up your self confidence. So
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have your mind right. I mean, we've seen it in the news. People going crazy, with employees at work. It gets deep, and I will start it with personal development because you get to learn who you really are. You get to see how far you can take yourself into challenges and overcoming obstacles. Personally, professionally, and seeing how far you can go. So I will start with that because from there we are the most talented individuals in this world, and it is such a beautiful thing to see, but it's so sad to see it wasted. And what's
Yeah.
crazy is when I can see your talents, you can see your talents, but I can't see my talents within.
All right.
And that's
mhm,
what led me on this the journey. And I didn't know anybody that was into the personal development. I didn't that wasn't talked about in my cipher, in my circle at
Right.
all.
yep,
And I had to step out on myself because I had to make sense of what was going on. And let me tell you guys, if I didn't do that personal development, I wouldn't be able to stand as strong as I am right now. And
Yeah.
that's because I learned to challenge myself. And everything is relatable. Everything relates to one thing to another. Because if I left off with that corporate job and everything that happened in there, they try to beat you down. And if your self
Yeah.
confidence, your esteem, and everything is not built up, you will feel less of yourself. And it'll be a downhill spiral affecting your finances. So that's where I love what I do because I'm serving, I'm giving, I'm helping, I'm empowering other people, and I'm enjoying it. I really genuinely because I've seen it. I had to go through it myself. I had to go through it myself, and I guess
Yeah.
that's why I am right now talking with you guys because
Yeah.
yeah,
I can share my personal story, and
Yeah.
overcome those challenges. And I look forward to behind what's behind the doors of the unknown. I
Mm-hmm.
look forward to it. I can I'm excited, and that's why I'm just excited for other people when they take that step of the unknown, and because it
Yeah,
really you have to start within yourself.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you when you're at that
Mhm.
job and you're being, I mean, I'm a grown woman, and a couple years ago, I was working for a job where when the bosses or the owners or whatever, when they would show up, they would call us the girls. How are you girls? Fine. And I'm like, I'm almost 40 years old. I didn't raise more kids than you can ever
Mhm.
imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
respect the hustle. Okay. First, respect
Yeah.
the hustle, because when that gets to your mentality, like you said, it messes up your finances, it messes up your planning, your coping skills is fucked up, because you feel less than, and maybe you're trying to feel better by buying things or
Right.
drinking or smoking or hanging out or being in the club. And then you made
Mhm.
a very great mention when you said serving people, because even in the household, if you have children and if your mentality is broken and your spirit is broken, you can't even serve your family with the tools and the motivation and the
Mhm.
inspiration that they need to go out and do things, whether it's better than you, or, if you're passing the baton kind of
Right.
deal.
Right.
So, for
Definitely.
me, working through corporate America and working through corporate-ish America, I was a victim of that. I was definitely a victim of that. And I think a lot of people felt like, even people in my home, they felt like, oh, she's very confident, she's very strong and bold, and she knows what to do. Well, what it was is I always learned from my mistakes. I learned from the mistakes of others. I'm
Mhm.
always watching, you know what I'm saying? I'm always note taking and then trying things out. I'm very risky. So where someone may be confident and comfortable, I'm looked at as more of a risk taker, because I would be willing to try to sacrifice or do other things to try to get myself to the next level. But the
Right.
confidence wasn't there. The confidence wasn't
Mhm.
there because there were just certain key points missing. And it was certain things that I felt like I should have accomplished by now, and I wasn't accomplishing them. And, I share a lot on social. I have fun on social. It brings me joy to be able to share things that I've done, because people that know me personally know the journey. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
they'll let me know behind the scenes, Toya, I'm mad proud of you. And I share, it's
Mhm.
like likewise for me. Like, Kiva, I'm people's cheerleaders. Like, to be able to
Yeah.
see somebody else win makes me so happy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times with
Mhm.
people, I'll see them bigger than they even see themselves. I will
Yes.
address them bigger than what they're even used to being addressed as. And it comes
Mhm.
across as kind of weird. But it's like, yo, I see that God in you. And I support that. And to be able to share it and to actually start seeing things come in to play in my own personal life is just
Mhm.
such a blessing. And um being here this very moment with you guys is just,
Mhm.
another reflection of the journey that we've all gone on, and where we are and where we're going. So just all facts, all
Yeah.
amazing facts.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, and the lifestyle, like my feedback on the lifestyle is, sometimes you got to do the dirty work. Lord knows we've all been there and we've done that dirty work, whether it's, I don't know what you would call, or what the next person would call dirty work, but
Mhm.
I worked in the daycare changing Pampers, you know what I'm saying, and cleaning milk off of fat baby necks, and I worked in a nursing home and dietary, where I was in a kitchen, and I worked with
Mhm.
elderly people, and it was rough, it was hard. It was hard work for me, but to now be able to work from home and to have the
Mhm.
flexibility and to have the income, sometimes you got to work your way up. So just to kind of like piggyback off of what you said with the Joneses, our children, they're watching social media, they're seeing these people with these flashy cars, all of these endorsements and different things. And it's attainable, but that's not for everybody. So you may have to put in some work, and you might not know what them people got going on behind the scenes or what they're doing in order for them to be in that position to be able to
Mhm.
showcase what they're showcasing.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
work towards your dream job, your dream career, and your lifestyle job.
Yeah.
You'll get
Mhm.
Most
there. Trust
definitely.
Mhm.
me. If
Yeah.
I got there,
Yeah.
you will get there.
Most definitely.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Definitely. And when you say put in that work, I think a lot of people don't want to. I don't want to say people, but maybe the younger gen, they don't want to put in that
Young
work.
people.
They don't want to put in that work. They want it to come easy. Like you said, very flashy. Or I'm not working those hours. I'm not working at night. I remember, you know, working the night shift and then going in and doing it in the morning, going in the
Right.
morning,
Mhm.
you know, and traveling. I always had to travel for my jobs because I wanted to make the money. So, I lived in a certain area because of the schools for my kids, and then I always had to travel,
Yeah.
for the job. And,
Mhm.
thank God for the village that I had to help me
Yes.
because I wouldn't get home until 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then I had to get
Yeah.
up at 6 to be out the door, or 5 to be out the door at 6. So it was hard, but now for me, I work from home now. I have my business that I'm building, and showing my kids, it's rewarding to see. And I'm trying to show them, like, look at what because I looked at myself. I'm doing all of this big territory for other companies, helping them HR wise. I could do it myself, you
Yeah.
know, and keep the money for me instead of them telling me how much I'm worth or how much they think they're going to pay me,
Yes.
like, no,
Yeah.
you know,
Uh-huh.
um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that would be my take. And also teaching our kids and helping them so they don't have to go out and work for someone else,
Yeah.
and have them get beat down by corporate America and having someone tell them what they're worth and how much they're worth,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
because it definitely it does mentally, people like I think someone said, they turn into alcoholics or they come home and they're in a bad mood and they treat their kids a certain way,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
divorce with spouse because the person just can't deal with that type of
Mhm.
negative energy.
Yeah.
You just like that, you just feel it, you don't want to deal with it anymore. And it's just sad because you have to take care of your the bills, necessities.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm learning as I've gotten older. um the more the sources of income, having at least seven.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
when you look at people who have the money and built a career for themselves, they have at least seven sources of income.
Yes.
Not saying that they're doing something in all of them. Some of them are
Yep.
just making the money as they sleep, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's where we need to be ahead of the game and teaching our community early on. Okay,
Mhm.
if it's not in
Mhm.
the schools, then let's create it. Let's
Yeah.
create,
Mhm.
let's teach our kids. Let's, start building from there. I think that's where we lack, and how we
Yes.
get things taken from us, and
Mhm.
we don't seem to get what we deserve in a
Yeah.
sense. Um,
Mhm.
we got to own it. We got to own
That's
it.
true
Most
facts.
definitely.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And I loved, Shanika, that you touched on, trying to make ways for our children not to be able to have to go and work for other people.
Yeah.
I think that it may happen here and there,
Mhm.
but I think that giving them a big picture, or even, opening yourself up and being vulnerable and risky and, open to their dreams and goals,
Mhm.
and being resourceful. And
Mhm.
even if you're on your journey and you can kind of bring them along because they have a genuine interest, um, that is a huge. There are cultures, and we've said this before. There are cultures where that's their way of life.
Right.
Mhm.
That's how they do it. That is their key.
Yeah.
That's their family key. And for certain cultures, it's not. And we end up, scatterbrained all over the place. I know Niqua has been able to bring her daughter on board to help with certain projects.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for years. My kids, even if it's an art, event, I'm like, y'all coming, y'all gonna help me pass out these business cards. you know, I'll take you to go get something to eat afterwards, or I'll pay them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But now that they're older, it's a different setup, and we're able to literally like kind of like hire them as assistants or, mini me's or ICs, independent contractors. And in Kiva's case, she was able to partner with her daughter to
Yeah.
create a book. So let's talk about that before we jump off. Smiling back at
Back
you.
at you.
I
Yeah,
love it. I
thank you.
love that you've done this with your daughter. Tell us about that journey.
Yes.
Let me tell you guys, she came home, she got the braces, she was so excited to have braces, and she loved to sing. Has a beautiful voice, and I wouldn't tell her if she did. She has a
Yes.
beautiful voice, and she wanted to do the talent show, and she said, "Oh, I'm not going to do it." I said, "Why? You sound really good."
Yeah.
Well, the braces, the kids at school were making fun of me. And
Oh,
instead of me saying what I was told as a child, well, I did say that, but I wanted to twist it. I wanted to twist it for her and leave her a book or tell a story. And the Sugar, the dog, the character is her dog, Sugar, and she loves
oh,
her dog to infinity. And I
oh.
wanted to paint that story and leave that because, real quick, I read this book and it talked about your dash in life.
Mhm.
What is your dash? Because we see our birth date and we see our ending date. What's in the middle? And
Oh,
I read that recently, but I play that back to the reason why I wrote the book is I wanted to give it a gift for her to show her that you can do anything you want to do. And people will
yeah.
always talk. People will always say something. You can
Yep.
have your eyebrow one bigger, thicker than the other. Someone's always going to say something.
Yes.
But don't let that
That,
stop you from your dreams and your goals. And that was my gift to her, not knowing it was a gift to myself, because
oh,
it brought something out of
Kiva.
me. And I didn't
Yeah.
know that I had it in me to write a story that she loved. And I told her what I was going to do, and she was so excited. And to hold something that you did is like opening the door
Right.
to your house because you stepped out of
Yeah.
your comfort zone and you did something. So that book is another baby of mine. And I am working on the next
Yes.
one. Yes, smiling back at you. And a smile is so simple. A smile is just so simple. I know it has a little sarcastic tone to it, but as long as you're smiling, you're good. And I wanted to leave that for her to know that, baby, you got this. You got this. And you smile with those beautiful teeth because they're going to be, and I wanted her to see, not right now in this moment. And for me too, I wanted her to see
Yeah.
into the future. What is your goal in getting the braces?
Yeah.
What is your goal? And that's for
Right.
anything. What is your goal? And I wanted to give that to other kids because you see how it starts so young. And I
Yeah.
know I can't write a book. I've said this before. I can't write a book for every situation she's going to have in life.
Right.
But if you
Right.
start off with the simple ones early in life, you'll be able to build on and to overcome or deal with and learn how to handle other obstacles that come. So
Mhm.
I'm proud of that book, and I'm happy that she got to see the process and see and hold it, like a baby.
Oh,
you know.
I did not know the backstory. I mean, I can only
Yeah.
imagine how special it was because I know
Yeah.
you as a person. And when you told me when we were catching up before Mamas with Commas, I was like, what? That is so cool. And now I have it sitting here and it's here
Yeah.
on my desk and I can relate in so many ways, even with the braces. I mean, I'm on my little journey right now with my little Invisalign, because my
Invisalign.
teeth is that's one of my things where I'm kind of like self-conscious about. So yeah, so I'm like her, that end goal. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So it's just all the more meaning. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of her. You are
Thank
absolutely
you.
right that you won't be able to write a story for every situation, girl. But because even situations that she's not going to be able to share with you, she's going to remember what my mother did for me to help me get
Mhm.
through whatever I went through in middle school and it's just, this is what I'm talking about when I say, is it a cultural thing? Is it really a cultural thing? Is it because you black you can't be an author? You can't write a book? No, there are resources out there. We just, yes, there is a playbook, like Kiva said, that was tossed the other way, but we playing catch up, and we have so many amazing people to help us get from one place to the next in life. How can we get a hold of your book? How can we support you and purchase the book?
Yeah, my book is on publishingadvantage.com / smiling back at you. Or you can contact me on IG, Coach_Key Rivera, and I can definitely, send you the link. And and I just love networking with people. I found a new love for talking to people and sharing knowledge. I don't have all the answers. I'm not the smartest kid in the book, but we feed off of everybody's story, and
Yeah.
and and that'll empower you and the next person, and it just goes down the line, and I'm an adult, and the story, resonated with me, just believing in myself and saying my affirmations. I'm a grown woman, and I want to leave that to my child so she can know I am beautiful, I am strong, I'm fearless, and I want her to know that, to build that solid foundation for the future.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I love that. That's a dope mother and
Thank
daughter
you.
um story.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
know it feels a bond too, even closer, to have that experience, mother and daughter experience. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and you never
Mhm.
know what direction she might end up.
Thank you.
She
Thank
might end up
you.
being a author, New
Yeah.
York bestseller. You never know the seeds you plant,
Yeah. Yeah.
because, like
Exactly.
you
And
said,
and I wasn't
the
even
power of
striving
net.
for, yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, most
I wasn't
definitely.
even
Yeah,
striving for the bestseller. It wasn't even about that. It was just my
right,
gift to her and just sharing
to
the
her.
story.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. But you are
Hmm.
planting seeds. This is amazing.
Thank
And
you so
and
much.
guys, I think the best way to leave us tonight is, Kiva mentioned the word networking. I was going to say it earlier, because when you're kind of maneuvering through life, I mean, you look back at the dots, and you're like, oh my God, you like, thank God. You almost want to kind of like drop to your knees and be like, thank you, universe, thank you, God, because they do connect.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, and that little quote that says never burn your bridges is such an important quote, I think, in life. I think with some bridges we have to um just kind of let them be, but
Let them
you
go.
never, yeah, just let them be, just let them rock, or whatever them bridges need to do, but burning them, sometimes that person that you least expected, sometimes it's even a stranger, that you never knew was watching you, or that you never knew that looked up to you. They'll come back, and they'll be the one that helps you get from one place to the next place in life. So
Yes.
networking is just,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's the
And
key.
sometimes it's not everyone's season.
Yep,
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
It's not everyone's season most of the time. And sometimes
yep,
we have so much going on. And you can hear something one day. I don't know what that means. Hear something a few more days later, or next month, next year, 2 more years from now. I'm like, oh, that's what that meant. So everybody has a
girl,
season and a
yes,
growth. So
yes,
Right.
it happens to me. I can say that for myself personally. Some things I didn't see, because I wasn't looking for it, because I was so boggled down with whatever, going on.
yeah,
But when you get to that place, you're like, oh, okay, like you said, burning bridges. You don't want to do that, because you don't know where people are in the world. And you could say something and they'd be like, what? And then just shut that door. And you don't know when like that person can share information with you, and you'd be like, oh my gosh.
yep,
Right. Right.
yep.
Exactly.
Use it to get to the next level. So
Yep.
Mhm.
don't burn it. Just network, keep people close, keep your little Rolodex handy. You may not talk to the people every day, but keep in touch, leave people with good vibes
And
and good intention.
Mhm.
yes, and because especially it builds a network to help others. I think one thing I've learned is that, share information. I think sometimes people feel so threatened to just network and share information. You never know. You may have something that may work for me, and we can, cross reference each other, or we can even do business with each other. You never know. But
Yes,
sometimes people are
yes,
just so
yes.
afraid to just
Hmm.
share information that, it's just, that's how we build our networks. That's how we grow,
Yep. That's
you
how we
know.
grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But why is it that we can share a beautician, we can share where we get a shirt or a pair of shoes, a bag, or what movie? Why is it we can do that so easy? But when it's time to build somebody and to get them to the next level, you want to hold that information to yourself because
Right.
you don't want
Yeah.
that person to shine. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense at all. And it's just
It does
about
not make
breaking the curses and the cycle. It's breaking that
Yep.
cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Most definitely, because it's
Yeah.
definitely enough out here for
Mhm.
everybody.
Yep.
You
There's
know.
enough.
You know.
There's enough. Mhm.
Yes. Most
It's
definitely.
plenty. It is
Mhm.
plenty,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've been able to witness, with the companies that I work for now, I've been able to witness just doing business nationally versus internationally. And, I think a lot of people think,
Mm.
Virginia is it, or New York is it, or
Mm-hmm.
Florida is it. They forget about the people on the West Coast and how big the United States is. And then you have Canada, and then you have Mexico, and then
Yeah.
you have South Africa. Like
Yeah.
every day I'm talking to somebody from South Africa, or somebody from, South America or the UK. And right now, with
Nice.
me, the world is small. The world isn't as big as it used to be because I communicate with
Hmm.
people in different countries
Right.
doing business every day. So,
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Beautiful.
that's another thing that people need to understand and realize this is a big, 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 big world, and it's enough for everybody.
Most definitely.
We need to take care of our planet, but it's enough for everybody to get, to where we need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kiva, so one more shameless plug on how people can get in touch with you so that you can help them level up in the area of get your money right, y'all.
Yes.
How do they
Get your
contact
money
you?
right. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Well, you can contact me on Facebook, Kiva Rivera. You can contact me on Instagram at Coach_Key Rivera. Or my phone number, my office line is 888-330-7247.
Okay, wait a minute. You cut off on the phone number. Can you give the phone number one more time? On my end, it was choppy, so I just want to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yep. Okay. Yep. 888-330-7247.
Perfect,
Perfect.
perfect. That was nice and clear. Thank you so much for taking time to be on tonight. I know you
Thank
are
you.
busy.
Thank you for
We
having me.
see you growing.
Yes.
We talk about you at least once every couple of weeks. We're like, Kiva is popping. So
Yes.
going, just keep pushing
Oh,
and stay connected because your community,
yes.
they people love, love, love. I see it. You have always been, how we vibe from the beginning, but I just see it in you, and it's just such a gift. So thank you for servicing the community and helping us get from
Yes.
one place
Most
to a better
definitely.
place in life. I
Yes.
appreciate you. We
Yes. Yes.
appreciate you. And thank you
Mhm.
I
for coming on
appreciate you
Mamas with
too.
Commas
Thank
again.
you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having this platform. I really enjoy listening to your podcast. Like, it's having conversations, and I feel like I'm right there, especially because I get to chat and I get to laugh, and I feel
Yes.
like I'm sitting right here. So to be on here, I
Yes.
really want to thank you
Thank
for
you
having,
so much.
because I'm
Thank you.
laughing. I'm so happy for you guys for having a platform. Really, I really do appreciate it. So thank you too.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
We're gonna
you.
keep pushing. We're gonna keep
Yes.
pushing. We got some big things. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep it
No.
going. So we'll
Yep.
be here. And we'll have you back
Yeah.
on. We'll
Keep
have you
going.
back
Keep
on
going.
again because
Yes.
Okay.
like I said, this is the most engaging
Yes.
conversation. People always have questions
Yes.
about, how to get their money together. So thank you so much for taking the time tonight, and good
Yes.
luck. And
Thank
we'll talk
you.
to you soon. We'll see you on
Yes.
social. Love you.
Love.
Awesome.
Have a
All right.
good
Love you
night.
too. Thank you. Bye.
Yay, that was so good, you guys. Yeah, Kiva's a dear friend. I've known her since high school, and I'm just so happy for her. She has two sisters, they're twins. I love them. It's like the whole family. Like it's like we all sisters. It's all good.
I
So
love her
yeah.
vibe. I
Oh
well met her, and seen her grow, and I love, her energy, the business, just
yes,
and the knowledge, just the
yes,
knowledge and information that she has.
yes,
Um, I feed off of it a lot, and I've learned a lot just in the time frame from the first chat we had.
yep,
With our finance chats have been one of the most popular shows that we've had. So
yes.
exciting.
And hopefully people will see us grow, as we're hosting the platform. um I think we're very knowledgeable and we have our professions and things like that, but you don't know everything.
Right,
Everybody has their own superpower, if you will,
exactly.
maybe one or two,
Right,
maybe three or four, but we all don't know everything.
right,
So just like last week when I came on, and it brought me to tears when I
right.
mentioned how special the chat is and was to me, even in that very scary moment, and the information that I've learned. So
Right.
I agree with you, Nico, full-heartedly, that even financially, after hosting 15 chats, I've been able to make strides and changes based on what we've learned from Kiva, Tamika,
Yes.
Rachel, you
Mhm.
know, um, even the small business owners,
Yes.
honestly, everybody.
Everybody. I learned something new, even with the different products. I mean, it's just amazing to see. I mean, and all over, different
All
areas.
over.
I
And
mean,
we get to connect with these people and we're watching them grow.
right.
So, we had a beauty chat, and I think I want to do another beauty chat or wellness. But the two ladies that we had on, we had Kim. Kim is forever evolving.
Yes.
Kim and look, they are forever evolving. They're like a power couple, a power team. I love to see them in the mix. But we had a young lady on that did hair, and I mean, I've seen her open her shop. She has expanded her product line. The young lady that designed our logo, our of
Yes.
me and Niqua, we've
Mhm.
seen her grow. I mean, I follow her. She broke away from doing a lot of the digital art because she's going into photography, and her pictures are amazing.
Oh
Like,
wow.
I'm following her, and I'm liking all like I'm scrolling through all and liking, like, she is just so talented.
Well, I love her art, so she's very
Yes,
talented. She's very talented. So from the first time you showed me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I
we
just love
loved
she
it.
brings it to. Well, I love art. I'm an artsy girl, so
Yeah,
the way she is creative with it and just brings it into it's like realistic, but a cartoonist type of vibe. I
right.
I love I love it. So.
It's so fun. It's
Mhm.
so fun. I want to recap a couple of things before we get off. You look so cute, by the way. I love your hair. Your skin
Thank
looks so
you.
good. Like everything's so
I'm trying. I'm trying it so hard.
cute. We trying to keep it together. Y'all
I'm
should have
trying.
seen me earlier today. If I could show y'all a pic, the hair was. I had to go slick. Look, it was.
No, well,
I had so much
listen.
conditioner. It was.
It's getting there. You're gonna see ponytail because if you guys, I know in the beginning of our chats, I always had a hat on, but I'm trying to get better. Not always having, that my Bronx hat on. I'm always, if y'all don't know it by now, I'm gonna always represent BX. I'm
Yes.
a big Nas fan, so
Mhm.
you'll see me sometimes. I might. Well, I haven't worn any Met stuff or anything like that. But so I did have a Nipsey shirt on just
Yes.
to support. But
Mhm.
yeah. So yes.
Yes. Man, okay, so our last like full-blown chat, we discussed healthy pregnancy, healthy delivery.
Yep.
So since that show, and we got a lot of support when we posted here in Florida. Um, they actually made doula services part of the Medicaid program, and that is absolutely huge. It's huge for a couple of reasons. It's
Yeah.
huge for pregnant mamas because now we have yet another option, a support person during our pregnancy, delivery, and post. Do you say postpartum? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would.
It
Yeah,
doesn't mean something negative. Okay, after birth. Okay.
but they call that your post checkup, right? Your postpartum
Yeah, your
checkup.
post
Yeah.
checkup. So now you can have, if you receive Medicaid, and we all know what Medicaid is, now you have the option to have doula services that would be taken care of by the Medicaid program. So that is what we're pushing for. That is one thing, that we're pushing for. And another great thing from that is if you are a doula or if you're interested in becoming a doula, now that's a new network and a new way to connect you to patients and potential clients so that you can build your business as a doula. So it was a really really cool thing to see and to celebrate and to share. So I was happy to share that with you guys. And then the other thing that we have right now, kind of rotating, is the Birthing Place, which the Save a Rose Foundation is a partner with the Birthing Place. They have a petition going, um, and they're asking for a certain amount of signatures. What they're trying to do is have the birthplace more birthing centers in the city so that
Yeah.
the women aren't just delivering or having to deliver in the public hospitals or the hospitals. So if you see that petition or that post come across, if you don't mind, if you could sign it and share it, that would be amazing. I think they've almost got all the signatures. Let me see where they're at right now. Let's see. And you can also donate. Okay, so they're trying to get 1,500 signatures, and they have 1,118 people that have signed so
Mm,
far.
okay.
So I think that we could kind of finalize that. I think we've had shows that had, 400, 500 people watch. So if you guys can just sign that, let's help support that center and get that birth center in New York. They're wanting to remove obstacles for midwife-led birth centers in New York. That's what they're fighting for. So support,
Which
support.
is dope. Which is dope. I
Mhm.
mean, they need it. I did not know. I'm like when they said that there was no birthing centers in the Bronx at all. I think they said there was two, and it was in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
So that was shocking. So yes, please support. And I need to look and see if they have birthing centers here. That's interesting now to see. I'm gonna have to start researching and looking. I mean, I know they have doulas and
yeah,
things. But I mean, a lot of these programs is really good developing because it's really important, I feel, to support the mothers before and even the first 6 weeks. We go through a lot. We're exhausted. All kinds of things. Some of us have complications. And I just think this is a perfect thing to have. And
yeah,
definitely advocate for moms too. So this
yeah.
is definitely news. Awesome.
It's good news. It's good news. We try to do as much actionable work as possible and not just come on and talk or even, spend hours on the phone just talking to one another. We try to put action behind certain things because we feel rewarded when we see that we are helping change or helping, each other. So just know that that's, while we're sharing, some days I might share so much, some days I might not share anything. I know some of y'all might be like, dang, Toya, like you constantly posting today, but it's just information that that I want to get out. And like I said, it might not help you, but it may help the next person. You
Okay.
never ever know. So that's why I like to share. Couple of other things I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you had anything, Nikwa, but thank you so much for Lynn. You are always supporting us and we love you dearly. Um Nigeria, I just want to bring some attention to what's going on there. We are completely overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed in America and what's going on here. Today, I saw like something come up about the officer that had the knee on George Floyd, and I saw that they took the third degree murder charge away from him, and I'm just like, it was just startling. But they kept the second degree and the other degree, and I mean, he has all the other charges, but it's just like you're looking out for everything because we're fighting on so many levels.
Mhm.
But just right now, my daughter, she reached out to me. She was like, "Mom, do you see what's going on in Africa?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm definitely tuned in. I just told her that I feel really helpless because I'm here, in America. Like, what do we do? So, the awareness is a huge part of it. It's just spreading the word, and social media has granted us so much space to be able to share so many different stories on so many different levels. So awareness is one, and the other one is there are a couple of different um, places that are accepting donations that's over there, that's on the ground, that's helping frontline, that's helping. And I think Beyonce even backed these two communities, charity organizations, through her site, Beyonce.com. But what my point is we need to make sure that even if it's our people across the water in Africa, is still have your ear to the ground and be aware of what's going on in the world and be supportive. I'll
Mhm.
never forget how the world came together when we needed them during
Mhm.
the George Floyd thing. And whatever your feeling is behind the whole George Floyd movement or the Black Lives Matter movement, my thing is the world genuinely came together. And it was an amazing thing to see. And when you are alone in a situation and you're being treated unfairly as a people and as a country, and you can't share, and we know what that looks like because back in the day we had the encyclopedia that was pre-written by. Now we have social media and things can be shared, true, real time can be shared, so we see what's going on.
Mhm.
Them just knowing that we know, and that and that we'll get the awareness and we'll spread the word, can strengthen them to do the things that they need to do to help, you know,
Right.
get SARS completely out of the way. SARS, what I'm reading about that is like what we fighting over here. It ain't no different. So
Mhm.
we got their back, they got our back. The other thing that I wanted to make mention was voting. God, we've been talking about voting so much, and I know tonight is the debate, and we've been, we didn't want to cancel mamas, but that's something we can catch up on later, is seeing how the debate went. But did y'all vote? Did y'all early vote? Who voted? Did y'all vote? I know some of y'all don't feel like voting. Everybody feels a little bit different, but it's early voting time. Um, if you want to help make a change there, get out there, do what you got to do, and vote.
Yeah.
Vote local level and vote. A presidential voting right now as well. So, did you want to add anything to that, Nico? I know we've been going hard with the voting. So,
I mean, I just, I agree with you. I just think that overall we have to do something, and I think that one thing I've learned and tried to reiterate is that we have to vote and do the research on the local level. We can't just go for the president. The president needs backing.
yeah.
And there's a lot of things that we need to learn, and we need to just, dive in and learn what's going on. Don't give up. I know a lot of people are just like, I don't want to deal with it. Our vote doesn't count. But don't you want to find out why it doesn't count? if you feel it doesn't, and really look at the information. Don't always believe what somebody else is saying or reading through social media. Do the research yourself, put that work in. What I find is that, we need to start on that local level and work our way up. We need people who look like us in those situations. We need people who understand the neighborhoods where you live. One thing I've always tried to do was hard being a working mom, but being involved with, what's going on with the kids, the school systems. You nominate those people on the board, and their opinions and things that they want to put on that'll be on your children. So it is a big picture, and it's not going to happen overnight. Put whoever in the office, it's not going to change overnight. We have to do what we do as a community, and support those who are doing something. One thing I've noticed, the ones who are actually doing what they're supposed to be, we don't give them enough support or accolades. They have to damn near be old or have passed on before we actually give them their props. And we got to get better at doing that as well for those people who are, and don't tear people apart. Like, let's find out why they're doing, we don't know how they're helping and in what manner and different things of that nature. So just saying that as a whole, I just think, however you feel, things haven't been right. So we need to fix it. And, however you give back to help that situation is up to you.
Yes.
It's really up to you.
I love how you brought up the school system, and I know we probably want to wrap up here in a little bit, but there was, I don't know if this story made it nationally yet. I don't think I've talked to you about it. So if it did, you may say, yeah, I did hear about that. But down here in Jacksonville, there was a football game that was about to begin. And before the football game began, literally, like, the football is still in the same place that it was before the game began. There was some there was a I'm gonna call it was a side situation where someone had drove up to a parent, shot and killed the father, and shot the son. I think the son was 7 years old. The son survived, but the father was killed. And the initial story was father shot, son shot at a football game, kind of like during a football game. So when you hear that, you think, damn, was they playing football and the parents was arguing over a touchdown or a play and somebody got a gun? It had absolutely nothing to do, come to find out, with the football game, the parents. It was the wrong time for somebody to come and to attack whatever was going on this parent, and sadly, shot the child too. Again, the child survived, the father passed. But today we found out that the association voted to close the park to any further football league games. And that's going to affect so many children, because of that single situation, the way it was presented, because it was so close to the field and during a game. Now that field is not going to be allowing youth football games to take place. So all of those kids are going to suffer. Of course, the person that shot, is their fault. But my question is, who is on that association? You know what I'm saying? Do they really understand how this is going to affect the neighborhood? Do they really understand how this is going to affect the children? Was it any other play there that could have made it to where this park could have stayed open, for these kids? It was a single situation. It was presented poorly, like this violence had to do directly with the football game, and it didn't. So I'm just tossing that out there because that association, are you involved, people? Are you involved in your communities? Are you in the association? Are you on the associations? Are you on the boards? Do you attend the meetings? Your vote will count. Your voice will count in your community when you start taking leadership
And just
and
being
do what
in
you
the
gotta
know. You
do.
need to know. You live there, be in the know.
Yeah.
Um, I also want to really quickly, since while we're on the voting, I want to give a shout out to Amy again.
Yes.
I don't think next week we'll probably repost some of the stuff for Amy,
Yes,
um,
we
just
will.
just so that you know we can get that out there again. She's been out there, meeting with the people, talking and building. So those who are in the 8th district in Richmond, Virginia, please support her. And if you know anyone in that area, please let them know who she is and support her. Um, I think she is definitely, well, I don't think, I know she would be a great candidate for that district for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And she posted last week how many people have already early voted, and she was very excited about the folks that have already gotten out and voted. So we will definitely repost some of her stuff next week. Like Niqua said, if you're in that area, get out wherever you are, get out and vote and make a difference for
Most
our future.
definitely. Yes.
Yes. So this was awesome. We hope that it has helped you in some way. It has motivated or encouraged you in some way, our conversation tonight. And we'll be back. We'll be back with another great chat soon.
Yes.
Yeah, so y'all have a good night.
Have a good
Um, de-
night, good week,
depending
good
upon
weekend.
depending upon how the vote is gonna go, we may do a bonus chat, where people, we can all come on and kind of sound off, or we can give a link and have people kind of join us and give us their feedback. Um, but we're gonna stay tuned throughout the next week to see how this plays out. But everybody be safe.
Be
You
safe.
are loved, stay smart, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.